どうも、ミネイです。今回はこのザ・スタンリー・パラボーというゲームをやっていきたいと思います。早速やっていきましょうか。ゲームの説明とかはおいおいということで。
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
はい、やっていきましょう。このナレーションの通りに動くもよし、動かないもプレイヤー次第というゲームです。なので、後にしたのですと言われて、私は一旦動きません。動かないとどうなるかっていうのをちょっと試してみたいなと思います。こんなもんかな、感度は。もうちょっと高くてもいいか。The game again。これか。これもうちょっと上げようか。これぐらいだね。縦が弱いな。でも、ちょっと待ってみようか。なんかね、ツッコミが入るらしいんだよ。場合によってね。でもちょっと動いちゃったからな。行くかも。ね。早っ、動き。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
どういうことだろうね。
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
会議室ってどこだ？会議室ってどこだよ。いや、会議室教えろよ。なんか常時ダッシュぐらいの勢いだな。会議室ってどこだよ。空いてるとこしか行けないんだね、これ。なんかこぼしてるね。こことかは
？When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door.
左か、わかったわかった。
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
こうやって間違った方向へ行っても話がちょっとつながるんですよね。ということだけは知ってるんです。
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
一つ目の開いている扉、行ってみよっか。はい。
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't
本当だ
5 years
ね。
ago.
ここどうなってんだ。
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
それもちゃんとナレーションでつけてくれるんだね。これっ
All
て
of his
そう、
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
オートセーブなの
Stanley
かな。
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
どうする次。会議室行ってみよっか、一回。
When Stanley came to a set of
こっち行ってみ
two
ようか。
open doors, he entered the door on his left.
こっちか。これが会議室かい？あ、
Yet
会議
there
室か。
was not a single person here either.
いないね。
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
オフィス。これは？
Coming to a staircase, Stanley
OK
walked
上の階だね。
upstairs to his boss's office.
ん？
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss,
ああ、そうだ
admitting he
ね。
had left his post during
そうか
work
もしれない
hours.
ね。
He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy,
な
why
い
had
ね。
he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe,
え、あ
he
れ？
thought to himself, maybe
回
I
ってきた。
am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other
う
strange
ん、なんか
observations.
ずっと同じとこ回ってるよね。
Why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him
そうだ
wherever
ね。
he went?
そういや
And
そう
for
だよ。
that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
ループしてるね。
No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief
答えを知って全てに5点がい
to
って、
have
スタンリー
finally
はどれ
found
だ
an
ろ
answer,
う？
an
ああ。
explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone.
え、それは
He
答えでいい
wasn't
の
going
か
to
い？
lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above.
おお、浮いて
the
る。マジで浮いてる。
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner.
今ずっと喋ってるから
Why
俺の
is
喋
there
る隙が
a
ねえんだ
voice
よ
in
な。
my head dictating everything that I'm doing and
ああ、
thinking?
そうだね。お
Now
前にも
the
聞こえてる
voice
のか、
was
スタンリー。
describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be?
いかがです
Was
と言われ
Stanley
ても
simply。deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
ん？
Now, hearing
どうい
the
うこと
voice
だ？
speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a
い
dream.
や、スタンリー、こ
Did
れ
the
は夢
voice
やっ
not see
て。
him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I
既婚
want
者
is
なん
my
か、スタンリ
life
ー。
exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
まあ、なんか、
I am okay.
バッドエンドだね、完全に。あ？終わってねえ。 終わってね。
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
何だったんだ。
This is the story of a woman named
なんで
Mariella.
スタンリーは
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
あ、
But on
これ
this
スタンリーか。
particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much
狂っ
she
ている。
Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled.
いやいやいやいやいやいやいやいや。
The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension,
まあそうかもしれないけどさ、救急車ぐらい呼んでくれても。
So it was only a moment that she
死体
stood there,
死んだの
staring
スタ
down
ン
at
リ
the
ー。
body. And then she turned and ran.
スタンリー死んだの？上司の部屋に行かなかっただけで？おいおいスタンリー。
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to
一回
check
ちょ
on
っと
his
言うこと聞いてみるか。
He never functioned well
ね
by
え、それもそれ
himself
で
and constantly
いいんじゃないか
needed
な。
support and guidance from others. So the thought of total solitude was terrifying.
確かに怖いね。
When Stanley came to a set of two open
部屋のドア
doors,
入り
he
ました。
entered the door on his left.
で、会議室に入ります。すると、
Yet there was not a
そこには
single
誰にも
person
いま
here
せんで
either.
した。
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
上だよね。
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
どっち？どっち？ここ？
Stepping into his manager's
でかくね？
office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley
そうか、
happened
そうな
to
るのか。
input the correct
ランダムに押したっていう
by
設定にな
sheer
るのか。
luck. Amazing.
え？
He
どっ
stepped
か
into
こ
the
こか。
newly opened passageway.
え？何これ？ここは何なの？え？何これ？え？スタンリーどうしちゃったの？え、全編狂ってるっていう設定じゃないよね、さすがに。ローディングローディングローディングってなってるけど。
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit
いや、そりゃそうだ
peculiar.
よ。
It
おか
was
しい
a
よ。
stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job.
全然自由じゃないよ。
Why did he
俺が操
do
っても。
this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go
もうすぐ
unanswered
明ら
for
かにな
long.
る。わかるのか？
Stanley
なんこ
walked
れ？
straight ahead through the large door
マインド
that
コントロール
read
施設。
Mind Control Facility.
これは？何これ？
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with
あ、
television
これ全部
screens.
モニターなのこれ。
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength
お、
to
こっ
find
ち行
out?
っていいの？え、これ全部モニターなの？ん？どれだ？どっか ボタンとかあるか。あ、これか。
Now the monitors
うわ、
jumped to
何これ。
their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's
ああ、
co-workers.
そういうこと。
The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
そういう、なんかほんまにルートによって全然話が変わってくるんやね。
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
あ、こっちでも
No. He refused to believe it.
俺の番号どれやったっ
He
け
couldn't accept
?400 何本やったっけ
His own life in
あれ
someone
200何本やったっ
else's
け
control? Never. It was
ファイヤード
unthinkable.
って書いてある。
Wasn't
首っ
it?
て書いてあるやつが
Was it even
俺
possible?
かい
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
従ってみるのもなかなか面白いね。
The heart of the operation controls labeled with
Offline.
emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over
勇敢だ
another
ね。
human life.
え
For he would dismantle the controls once
全てを
and
取り
for
壊す。
all.
これ押していいの？こっち入っていく？これか。こっちでいいのかな？一回ちょっと従っていってみるのも面白そうだよね。パワーをオフ。で、どうなるんだい？ん？動かせるね。暗闇、そして不安がこみ上げてきます。そうだね。やったか。やってないやつだ、それ。
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere
誰かの
moments
命令っ
away.
てね、このナレーションの
Even as the immense door
命令に
slowly
従えてない時点で、枷は外せてないと思うんだけど。
puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did
これ
this
まっすぐ行っていいのか？
hold?
これでちょっと上見てみるか。
streamed into the chamber,
下がってきて
he
んの？
realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he
あ、
had
青
been
空だ。
seeking,
すごい。
but happiness.
でも
Perhaps
階段
his
降りてる。
goal had not been to understand
ごめん、字幕全然読んでなか
what
っ
to
た。
let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
ああ、自由になったって
Whatever
こと？
life
一応。
is, it will
え、
be
これ
his. And that was all he needed to know.
め
It
っ
was
ちゃ田舎。
perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
足を踏み出してみる？
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense
でも
possibility of
どうなんだろう？それが幸せなのかどうかはわかんないよ
This
ね。
was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
ん？
And Stanley
う
was
ん。
happy.
お前が幸せならいいよ、スタンリー。まあ結構ルートとかがあるんで、まあいろいろ試してみましょうかね。次のパートからね。はい。あれちょっと待って、こんなに散らかってたっけ、ここ。あれこここんなに散らかってた？
All of his co-workers were gone.
散らかってたか。じゃあまあいいや。一旦
Stanley decided to
切りましょう。
go
ちょ
to
っとうるさい。
the meeting. Perhaps he had simply
それでは
missed a
ご
memo.
視聴いただきましてありがとうございました。よければ次回もよろしくお願いいたします。